Hey guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel today. If you're new here, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming. So today we are going to be discussing about a very important topic that I feel like all of us need to know. You need to learn from experiences. I'm sorry, I'm placing my phone. Yeah, and here with me today, I have a guest, an important guest at that. Okay, I will leave him to introduce himself, but first, um, his name is Joshua Indian, but I call him Mr. Josh. He's an entrepreneur and he's in Sweden. So today we are going to be making discussions about how he was able to transition, how his business is in Nigeria, a lot of things, amazing questions. Okay, just stay tuned and learn. So without further ado, let me allow him introduce himself. So over to you.
Thank you very much, Bosnola. It's a privilege to be on your channel today, and every subscriber out there. I want you to keep staying focused on this channel because it's very informative, very amazing. It's good to meet you all today. My name is Joshua Joseph Idiong, and the founder of Just Oil Limited, formerly Just Oil Processing Company. The season 7 winner of the Next Titan. That's the foremost reality entrepreneur TV show in Nigeria, a national MSME award under the agricultural category, a one-time alumni of the Tony Melo Foundation, and also a one-time winner of the United States African Development Foundation. Also have a Mandela Washington Fellow under the Young African Leaders Initiative, sponsored by the US government, and many more, so I don't bore you with a lot of things. And also currently a Swedish Institute scholar here in Sweden, right? Studying a master's in sustainable development, and also have strong interest in helping young people build their businesses in a sustainable way, and also spreading God's word. So I believe so much in what God is doing in our lives, and I'm happy to be on this channel.
Yeah, thank you so much. I need to add to that. I don't know you have achieved so much. It's a privilege. But I want to give you guys this first. How did I get to know Mr. Joshua here? When back home in Nigeria, we won the same scholarship. He's not the only SI scholar, but I'm quite close to him because I think in the first time I met Joshua, I don't know, I just went to his Facebook account. I don't just know. I know there was something special about him. So I went to his Facebook account. I checked a lot and I saw everything that he has done. I said, wow, I need to be close to this guy. I want to learn so much. And that was how I created that interest even before meeting. You know, I told you when we came. And so we came to Sweden together. We came the same day, we went the same flight, same everything. So yeah, it's a privilege to know Joshua. I
think that's why it's the SI scholarship is very important, and they emphasize on connecting professionals from different places. Right? You never know the person you are meeting, right? The person the scholar, because the person that is, for him to be able to win the scholarship, or for she to be able to win the scholarship, it means there's something amazing about them, and you just want to be humble enough to know what is special about this person that made this person stand out amongst so many people.
And Joshua has really been, it's not because he's here, I'm just telling you honestly, Joshua has really been like an inspiration to me, honestly.
Thank you.
So if you really like, you guys are ready, has mentioned so many awards and see, if you have a career in business and you are a young person, please tell them your Instagram handle. Please DM him.
My Instagram handle is at Josh Idiong, JOSHIDIONG, at Josh Idiong. And then on Facebook too, if you just type at Josh Idiong too, you'll be able to find me, or Joshua Joseph Idiong on Facebook, and also on LinkedIn, right? If that's mistaken, you can also type Just Oil. With that, you can also trace me and connect me, and I'll be very happy to connect with you and also share my knowledge with you and also learn from you.
Yeah, and another thing I want to talk about him is oil. That palm oil, that Joseph's oil is good, guys. If you are traveling abroad, if you are coming abroad and you want to buy palm oil, please order for just salt oil is, see, I'm not saying because it's my friend.
Yeah.
It's something that I've tried. There's no impurities, there's no all this rough smell. It's so clean and it's so good. Trust me. Trust me. I think I'll put the name of the oil in the video so that you guys can always get it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So now let's go back to our question that I have for him today. So the first question I have for you is, being an entrepreneur back in Nigeria, how was the transition process for you coming to Sweden? Because I know it's hard for you to leave your businesses and then saying you want to come abroad and start all over again. How was the transition? How have you been able to deal with that?
Okay, yeah. So it's quite interesting to talk about this, and also to make other people who are trying to make decisions like this to be able to know what steps to take. So I think for me it was quite different. It's all about how I see. When I discuss with my team members, I tell them, I say we are building a global business. The vision is global, right? So for me, even before applying for the scholarship, I've always had the mindset of how do I take my business beyond the scopes of Nigeria. Like there was a time I was talking to other entrepreneurs in Nigeria. I was talking about how to export not just your product, but also how to export the entrepreneur, right? So you yourself should be able to be a global citizen, be able to find yourself to gain experience from different countries and not just sending your product to different countries, right? Which is something that everybody might want to do. So one of the things I was thinking...
Please wait. Wait, you just dropped a bomb. I wanted to rephrase that one. That one you were saying that you don't just export
you don't just export your
product. But you export yourself as an actor. Please also, say it again so that it rings in our brain.
Right, so because traveling is a very good tool for education, right? You would think you are a giant in a particular place until you go somewhere else and see that people are doing better than you, right? So I always advise entrepreneurs, don't just export your product, but also export yourself as an entrepreneur. Try to build global network, right? Even if you want to keep living in Nigeria, you can travel to the US to take a short course. You can travel for a conference in South Africa. You can go for a program in Kenya. You can go for an holiday in Bahamas. Who told you can't? You can, right? Just do your research, find the right opportunity. And there are a lot of global opportunities, right, that can sponsor you to these programs free of charge. Like the Mandela Washington Fellowship sponsors your trip to the US for 6 weeks, right? Amazing. I was even supposed to have a trip to South Africa in March, but I had to cancel that trip because for certain reasons, right? I'm doing a lot at the moment and it's not going to fall within my time frame. So these are things that you can use to help yourself. But back to the question, how did I navigate as an entrepreneur coming to do my master's in Sweden and having a business in Nigeria? So I would say, for me, it was not about starting all over from afresh. For me, it was about building. You have different phases in life, in growth, right? So it gets to a point where you climax, you know that, I've gotten to this point, I need to start building at another level. When you climb the second step, you're starting afresh in step 2, not in step 1. So there are different levels of starting afresh, right? So for me, I'd gone to one business competition and a lot of questions around palm oil and sustainability, right? So if you want to think big and think global, my industry is an industry that's very sensitive. There are a lot of conversations around deforestation. Countries like Indonesia and Malaysia that are leading, they have pulled down a lot of trees to plant palm trees, and there's a conversation on how this is affecting climate. So if I must, and my company must be a leader when it comes to the palm oil space, I should be able to strengthen myself in sustainability. And there's a country that has a better understanding about that are in the top of conversation around sustainability, and that country is Sweden. So when I did my research, I found that it was Sweden, and that was what drew my interest to looking at what are the opportunities in Sweden and how can I gain knowledge. And that was also led me to choosing the program in sustainability, right? I tell my teammates too that we're not just building a palm oil company, we are building a palm oil company that would also be an energy company. What do I mean? We want to produce biogas from palm oil waste. That is a long-term goal, right? We can't do that with the limited knowledge we have in Nigeria. We have to go where the city where I am in Linköping has the biggest biogas plant.
Yeah,
right?
that's technical.
In Sweden, right? So I'm not in the wrong place. So I think it's about being intentional about what you want to do, how the step you're taking, even if it doesn't look obvious now, how it can connect the dots. There was a post I made sometime in LinkedIn, joining the dots in your life. Different things you do in your life that might not make sense now, but all together, if you put them together, they are building towards a big goal and a big vision.
Yeah.
Right. So it was about the big vision. To cut it short, because the story is very long, the challenges I faced when I was navigating, right? It wasn't easy because I just opened a new branch in Lagos a few months before I was leaving the country for the scholarship. And new branch means you need new management, new teams in place, and all that. And I wasn't there to really mentor the team structure for a long time before traveling. But we've operated in the Akwa Ibom branch for quite a long time, so it was stronger than the Lagos wing. So it was quite frightening for me. What is going to happen? What will be the outcomes and everything, coupled with the challenging times, the economic at the moment. So when I had to move, we had some delay in different things because in communication, right? The small company, so a lot of hierarchy of information and decision making comes from me, right? So when you're traveling and you have to settle in a new country, there are a lot of things that were going on at that moment, and in a way impacted in the way we approached it. But how did I navigate through it? It would take a master class to teach you how I navigate it.
Yes.
Right? So if you want to know more,
connect
on my DM and I'll teach you more. But what I know is that currently we are still producing, so we had to invest more in palm plantations back in Akwa Ibom to be able to scale our production, right? While looking at, so we also that same year we also got our export license. Because when I came into Sweden, I started looking at how to bring palm oil to Sweden. So we got our export license and we changed our focus to be more on how we can export more, right? And we started working on meeting the modalities of exportation. So that's where we are now.
Thank you so much. You mentioned the masterclass. If you want to know more, because I know right now so many questions might be popping up in your mind, you can also reach him on LinkedIn. Yeah. I think what's your LinkedIn?
Yeah, just type Joshua Joseph on LinkedIn, or you type just Salt Oil.
Okay, I can also put that in the video.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you so much. The second question I have for you is, what are the pros and cons of making such decision of?
Okay, yeah. Very, 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 very good question. So I'll start from the constraint. What are the cons like with making such decision? The first thing is that it's something I teach people a lot, especially when you're starting a business. So different businesses have different phases, and one of the constraints is that as the founder of a company, you are the motivation of the company. When your staff see you, they are motivated, right? When they see you around, come to the office, you bring life again. When you constantly can have conversation with them on why we are doing this, they see more reasons why they should push for this. But when they can't really find your face, a lot of people that come to your company at the early stage of your company didn't come because of your product, they came because of you. Let me repeat that. A lot of people that come to your company at the early stage of your company didn't come because of your product, they came because of you. So once you're not there, the motivation would definitely drop, right? Because you're the main reason, you're the one that motivate them to push for what they're pushing for. Some of them are not passionate about the product, but then they believed in what you were driving, they believed in you, and then you just leaving might bring a lot of questions in their mind. That's one constraint you should be aware of. The second one is that if you don't have correct systems in place, right? So systems is the ability for your business to run even without your absence. So there's a difference between an entrepreneur and a self-employed person. Entrepreneur and self-employed. Self-employed means you need to be present for things to work. You are the one employing yourself, right? If you don't go to the shop will not be open.
But an entrepreneur,
has systems in place.
Okay.
Yeah. So systems means that not just the people, there are instructions in place, there are modalities in place to checkmate these people. Right? And ensure that things are flowing the right way. So if you don't have these systems in place, when you travel, your business is going to suffer, right? You won't be able to effectively monitor, right? And then another one is if your staff don't have the right skill set, because before they could report to you directly, oh, this is what is happening, this is what is happening. In your absence, they need to leverage technology. You need to start holding Teams meeting on either Slack and other platforms. So you need to bring your teams up to technological updates and try to make sure that they can pass information, they can use Excel the right way, as simple as Excel.
Yeah.
You might tell somebody, oh, communicate what you sold this month, and the figures are just being mixed up.
Yeah.
Because there's a problem in terms of getting the right communication, even the use of Excel. And so if these things are not in place, there would be some of these would I say constraints. I'll just share one particular one. I was trying to be vague. That was very, very particular to me, one of the key constraints. And one of them was lagging in communication. Right? So when you are in another country and someone calls you and say, oh, I ordered for your product and I've not gotten it. Right? And you try to reach out to your salesperson and you're calling and the number is not going through.
The network.
you can't reach the person, and then the customer is on your WhatsApp, can communicate with you, but you can't communicate with the person. You can't just leave Sweden and appear in Nigeria. So you're at the mercy of those in Nigeria running the business, right? It could be very painful sometimes. There are things you can do, but you just can't go out there. You just have to depend. So, but then it builds something in you where you begin to trust people. You have to build dependence and confidence in people. Because when you're always there with them, if they don't help you, you can just go out and help yourself. But they need to help you. So you need to try to talk to them, support them, so that they can also support you. So it builds something that your business really needs, which is trust and confidence in the team you work with, right? It is a constraint. But let's go to what are the pros, right? For us that we're looking at exporting, we needed a presence. So it's difficult establish, especially in new market like Sweden. Sweden is not like the UK where you have a lot of Nigerians, right? Or where you can easily say, oh, I can get a connection with this African shop and you can send my product and it will go. Sweden is like a different market, right? But the good thing about Sweden is that if you can import a product to Sweden, it can go around other European countries. Right, so because the same rule that guides you bringing product to Sweden, the same rule that guides you taking product to Germany. So it's the EU parameters, right? So it's the interesting thing, right? That if you're able to break through and come in, so you have on-ground information, right? You're able to understand, because you as an entrepreneur, there's a difference when you yourself understand the market. That when someone is telling you this is what is obtainable. So traveling gives you the opportunity to understand the market yourself, know what are the opportunities. Right, some countries you can also have a leverage where you're able to also, establish a company in that country too, and then so you have a partnership with your company. The company you have in the country could be the distribution company. While the company in Nigeria is the production company, and you can work hand in hand, work together. So it gives you that advantage. It also gives you a wider scope to be able to raise funding, raise finance, right? So since you're structured to this country, you could also, if you want to access loan and funding or even business grant, since your business is registered in that country, you can also access it. The other business registered in Nigeria, you can also access support from. So you're having support from two different countries if you're able to navigate through it. So those are some opportunities and prospect. And then the business network. So you can establish a network in the course of your master's program and decide to go back to Nigeria after your master's program, right? And the network you've already established, you can now use that network to scale your business. So those are some of the pros.
Thank you. Everything you're saying, I cannot relate. I don't have a business in Nigeria, so I cannot relate. Thank you so much for that. And the third question I have for you is, throughout all this process, like what did you learn? As I think you've mentioned some in your conversation. Oh, sorry, in your speech or conversation. Anyway, you've mentioned, but what is that key thing that you've learned in all this process? That if anyone comes to you now, that thing you can say in like 2 words, like, okay, this is it, and
yeah. So I think one of the things I've learned is the fact that there's a movie called Men That Built America. So it's a very interesting movie. You need to watch it if you've not watched it. it showed us the story of how America was built, and it was built not just by politicians but by entrepreneurs, people who were offering goods and services that were patronized not just by their country but by other countries, right? I tell people, I say the only way a country can be wealthy is if they can sell to other countries. Right. The same way, the only way you can be wealthy is if you can sell to other people, not just selling to yourself, right? So one of the things I learned was to see how business is being done outside of Nigeria, right? Back in Nigeria, you see that one of the mindset among young people is the fact that, oh, I'm the one that founded the company, I need to be the CEO. Let me shock you. Here in Sweden, a lot of CEOs are not the founders of the company. There's even a program in my university where there are researchers.
I think it's not only Sweden. I think it's
I'm using Sweden as an example since I'm here in Sweden, right? And even for the ones that we know is that bigger companies they can hire CEOs. But even at the beginning stage, here in Sweden, there's a program called the Entrepreneur in Residence Program. What they do is that they are researchers that have business ideas. But they have spent their years researching, so they are not business persons. But yet they have this idea from a result of their research work that could actually be a solution or a product, right? So what they do is that they train people with the entrepreneurial DNA to be the CEO of the company, right? So you be a co-founder with this researcher who has the research knowledge, the technical skills, and you guys drive the company growth, right? I never saw early years of, I thought, oh, the idea was, you're the founder, you are the one with the idea, you have to be the CEO. You can have an idea without being the CEO necessarily. So it shows that the CEO's concept is not for your founder. CEO means Chief Executive Officer. If you cannot execute, then you don't need to be the CEO, right? So you can hire someone who has the capacity to execute that idea for you to be your CEO, and you pay the person a salary, right?
Okay, not so CEOs the founder will pay the CEO salary, right?
Yeah, the company.
The company.
Yeah, the founder too is also paid.
Okay.
Right, so the company pays the CEO salary for running, so it's a job. So the CEO service is even a job, right? So you can be the founder. You have a share value, but you also have a salary you are earning, right? Due to your daily tax and all that. And so it was quite interesting to learn that. I think another thing I learned is the part of the importance of systems, like I mentioned, having a system in place that can function in your absence. I know I read somewhere that says there are ways you can test systems. So which could be one of the challenging ones for me, right? At first, to test a system, you can be absent for like 1 week. And then you have to be absent for like 1 month. And then you're absent for like 3 months.
Right? Instead of just
just being absent. So I want you to learn from my own steps and be very intentional. So if you know I'm waiting for a master's program, I want to apply for master's next year, I want to go for scholarship. Start now to test your system. Be absent from your business for 1 week and see how your employees are going to run it. Be absent for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, so that when you're gone for 1 year, 2 years, the impact, you've trained them to adopt. But once you don't, you're not intentional, and then one day you just say, oh, I'm going for my master's program, you're finished packing your bag. As a result, that decision I made, I lost some money from that decision, right? The way I just moved and all that. Some things went wrong. I may not have time to explain in depth to you, but I'm trying to tell you that there were also some challenges that came as a result of that immediate trip. So there are some things I didn't get right in that movement, but then we're still able to find ways, because as entrepreneurs, you need to bounce back, you need to be resilient, you need to find ways to learn from every mistake and make a miracle out of it.
Thank you so much. And I also want to ask that if you had to decide again, what would you have done differently?
If I'm to decide again before this step, I'll still go for my master's program, right? Because I believe so much in human capacity development, right? The company will not grow beyond the knowledge of the entrepreneur, right? It won't grow beyond.
That's deep, guys. That's deep.
So it makes no sense. If you look at, I'm just going to give you an assignment. Go and Google all the startups in Nigeria making big names and raising a lot of funding. You discover a lot of them didn't study even in Nigeria. A lot of them study outside of Nigeria. A lot of them have dual citizenship. I'm telling you this, verify it and come back on this post and make a comment and tell me if I'm right or wrong, right? So, and other African countries too, right? It means they've developed their knowledge. Even the politicians we have today, or the those that founded Nigeria or that led to the democracy of Nigeria, right? You discover that a lot of them, they traveled out of the country, they got knowledge, they learned, they exposed their mind, they were educated beyond just the confines. It doesn't mean everybody has to travel out. Now we have YouTube, we have a global community where you can also share knowledge. But I think there's also something about this physical connection.
Yes. I think, yeah, you can't always compare online with this physical, aside from the education, the environment
changes.
The people, the culture. It's not like if somebody is telling you, you're experiencing it yourself. So that alone, what you will learn is not just
because I remember when I left, that was the first time I walked into a toilet and the light came on without me pressing light.
Yes,
not in Sweden, in Nigeria, but at Covenant University.
Okay.
Right? And I was like, wow, you mean the university students are enjoying this? I entered the toilet to go up back. And then the light came on. When I left the toilet, the light went on.
Yeah, you've not seen, you've not seen the one that toilet like, tap. You would have, you have to just put your hand and the thing will start coming out.
So then, why am I sharing this? So, but there in Covenant University, the serene environment, the way things were done, I was like, there's no how you will not study well, right? Compared to where I studied in Futo. Futo, we used to call it frustration under tension.
Loud stress.
Right? Good. Well, even though we still have amazing people from Futo, if you're Futo, I just make a comment in this post.
Loud tech for life.
Right, but then I'm just trying to say that there's something about the environment where you learn and where you connect, right?
Yeah.
It's very, 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 very important.
Yeah, thank you so much. So what advice do you have for any entrepreneur that is coming abroad, that is still in between that decision? Should I travel? Should I not? What will happen to my business? What advice do you have for them? That will be the last question. That's the last question for today.
So every entrepreneur out there, I want to first of all tell you thank you very much for being those that have set yourself to be different. It's not easy to choose not to just stay and seek an employment, but rather you are intentional to create jobs. You want to be, I know I left university not applying for any job. I've never worked for anyone with my degree, right from when I graduated till I came for my master's program, right? So it's a challenging and tough journey, right? There were days where I had to eat just once. There were days where I wasn't certain about what was the future of my company, but I still have to talk as if I'm so sure that we were fully in charge, right? There were a lot of doubts I had, but then we keep building irrespective of all these things. My advice to you is that entrepreneurship is not a one-day journey, right? It's a long-term journey. So look at it from the long-term picture, right? Look at it from the long-term picture. That's number one advice. Number two advice, entrepreneurship is not just about starting a company. It's about controlling an enterprise. Entrepreneurship is not just about starting a company. It's about controlling an enterprise. So equip yourself with everything you need. The power of persuasion, negotiation, skills of selling, communication skills, everything you need to be able to control the enterprise, right? So be open to learning. If you're thinking of traveling, like I say, set up the system first. Test your team week one, be absent for 1 week and see can they cope. And then test, another thing you need to test, put people in positions that will reveal their true self. It was one thing I learned, deep lesson I learned, right? Because when I was working, I didn't delegate some key responsibility to some persons, and so they were able to hide some part of themselves, version of themselves I didn't know, right? But when I traveled, I now put them in this position, and then they showed a different version of themselves, right? Like now, someone who has never touched money in your company before is going to act differently compared to when he's now the one that pays the money into the company account. The action is going to be different. So try to put people in positions that will reveal the true self of who they are, right? Before you take that step. So I think I'll leave you with those few points.
So thank you so much, Mr. Joshua. Yeah, I deliberately brought Joshua to this channel today because I've been getting a lot of questions about people who have businesses in Nigeria. People DM me and ask me, okay, I have these businesses or the other. How can I just leave my business and travel? Do you advise me to do this and that? And that's why I said, okay, I'm going to bring an expert, which I've brought to you guys today. And you guys have seen that Mr. Joshua has been able to like explain even beyond what I even expected. Even I'm late.
I think I'll drop one thing. It is not wrong to start all over again, right? So because people say I have business, it just dropped in my mind. So people, you don't employ anybody. The business you're shouting about is the one that only you is running from your room. There is no harm in shutting down your business. Yes.
Start again.
You shut your business, learn, and start over again. Let me tell you, when you start the next time, you're not starting the way you were before. You're starting better, right? Listen, it is not by how long. These people that have run business, once they have run business for 15 years. There is a company in Sweden, Nordvolt. Nordvolt, I think started in 2016, right? Started in 2016. Today, they are very big in terms of infrastructure, in terms of employees. It's not like they've been here for over how many years. This is a new industry, the new battery industry trying to compete against fossil fuel.
So there's no harm in shutting down.
Right. So because there are some mistakes you might have made. If you build that business on the wrong foundation, if you keep building on it, you will build and it gets to a point that it will crumble because the foundation was wrong. So why don't you shut down that wrong foundation?
Guys.
And get the right knowledge and build afresh on a new foundation.
Hey,
so that's my message.
This one right here is the power. See, if you're a businessman, see, Joshua has all the qualities. He was. What year did you go for Titans?
The next Titan was 2020.
Next Titans.
But the first, let me even give one short story.
Yeah.
In 2015, I was in university in Futo when I won the Tony the Million Entrepreneurship Program. That was the first year. They selected the first 1,000 entrepreneurs across Africa, not just in Nigeria. And as a university undergraduate, I was part of that number of entrepreneurs. That was the first time I entered flight. My flight was paid by
he's daring. When I was undergraduate, what was my own? I didn't see.
Yeah, so it's very, 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 very good to push yourself out there, dare to be more, right? There's nothing you cannot achieve, right? Find a critical problem you want to solve. You can find it anywhere. And currently, if you follow me on LinkedIn, I follow my posts, I talk a lot about about confidence, right? And it's also been one of my secrets. The ability to believe in yourself that you're valuable enough to be heard. Your products are valuable enough to be used, right? And your words are valuable enough to be taken as an advice. When you understand this, you would not just put yourself behind. You always push yourself out there consistently.
And I think I need to comment on this. This thing is saying is so true, especially if you are coming abroad. Because when you come abroad, we are from developing country. Most time, all these people, they see us as if we don't have anything in our brain, and then at a point you will feel so intimidated. Has it ever happened to you? To be as if you're nothing. But you see this thing you just said, like self-confidence, you have to know how did you put it, please? So you have to
know that you are valuable enough to be heard. Yes, your product is valuable enough to be used.
Yes.
Right? Very true. And your words are valuable enough to be taken as an advice.
Yes.
So don't shut yourself down. When they were choosing, they wanted to select who would be the cost representative in my class. And everybody were white. I were just maybe three blacks in the classroom. As they finished talking, I said, yes, I'm ready to lead the class as the class representative, right? That's because I want to push myself out there, right, and build capacity through service. It's very important. It's not about being proud, right? Today I serve in the board of the Leadership and Science Park, a student board member.
Yes,
the only black in the room, and you still have to build that confidence.
It's good to. Sometimes when I look at him, I'll be like, "Hey, Boston, you're not doing anything to it."
No, she's doing amazing. She was my best chair. Boston was my best chair.
I used to feel like, "Hey, Boston, you're not doing anything to your life." Like Joshua is somebody no. I'm so happy that I'm privileged to even know you.
Yeah.
So if you're here, he has a mentoring, you have a mentoring program.
Yeah, called
Brain to Bank, right?
Yeah, Brain to Bank is the initiative, but the program is called MPPP.
Yeah.
My Personal Partnership Program.
People from all over the world are in that program. So if you want to subscribe, please, you can reach out to him on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram. Please, if you really want to do business and you want to be successful, Mr. Joshua is in his 20s and he has achieved a lot. So he knows it. He's experienced.
Late 20s.
You're still your 20s. So pack yourself. You're still your 20s. So that's it. What else I want to do? Please don't forget. Please patronize us. Just sort oil. Okay? Yeah. Patronize the sort oil.
And share this video.
Please share this video
to as many people as possible.
Yes, because it's so information packed. Yeah, please share this video. And you guys, if you have any other additional questions, you can ask me. I can bring him again to my YouTube channel. It does not have a choice.
I'm out.
Yes. He does not have a choice. Okay, guys, thank you so much for staying tuned. I don't know if this video will be too long. I might actually split it into two if it's too long. Yeah, but then guys, please comment, share, like. Yes, and if you're watching at this point, you've not subscribed, Abba. Your day is almost to 1,000. Please carry me to 1,000 subscribers now. Let me be monetized by YouTube.
So this video will take you to 1,000.
Amen. Yes. I forgot to mention this man is anointed too. It's not only about business. If Joshua tell you that go, if you want to go and do any business, Joshua tell go. The Lord is with you, and He prophesies. Just see,
God will back that word.
Just go and sleep. It's not only business, so he is so grounded in the word. Guys, see, I leave Joshua and you people. Please get to know him, okay? Get to know him. And yes, we've come to the end of today's video. Thank you guys for staying tuned, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.